Hi everyone, it's Meredith with Soul Navigation, and I'm so happy to be with you today. Today we're going to talk about how do Sagittariuses get rich. We're going to talk about Sagittariuses' relationship to money and how Sagittariuses earn their money and basically their whole entire dance with their wallet. They're different, they're unique. So I'm going to share with you maybe pieces of Sagittarius that go past the stereotype and break through the walls. This is actually if you've got your sun in Sagittarius, or more importantly, if you have your Venus in Sagittarius. And after this video, I really do want you to go watch Venus through the sun signs. In that video, I really go into the power of Venus. So this is sort of if your Venus is in Sagittarius, if your sun is in Sagittarius, or if you have Sagittarius in the second house, and you might have two signs there. You might have Sag and Scorpio or Sag and Capricorn there. But if you've got Sagittarius in the second house, or if you've got Sagittarius in the 10th house. Now, there's a couple bonus rounds here. If you've got Sagittarius and Venus in the second house or Sagittarius and Venus in the 10th house, that is cha-ching, boom. This video is so for you. For my advanced learners, I really want you to also know where is Jupiter in your chart. And if you don't have your chart, I would love for you to go over to soulnavigation.com, click on the shop button, go to Astrology, Charts and Reports, and get a chart from me, because I give you a little cheat sheet and I show you where everything in your entire horoscope is. That's the blueprint of your soul. And you need a natal chart that's very easy to read and something that spells it all out for you. So when we do these videos and you're doing this work, you can go past the stereotypical sun sign astrology and you can really start to unravel your ball of yarn, where you can look into the nooks and crannies of your soul and understand yourself more deeply. So Venus in your chart is going to show me your relationship to money. And there's a secondary thing here. Where Venus is in your chart depends on what time you were born, but the sign that it is in is very important. So if your Venus is in Sag, just listen, listen, listen. Please do me a favor and put a comment in the notes. Where is Jupiter in your chart? And let me know if you've got Venus in Sagittarius. So I've got Venus in Sagittarius in the 5th, and I have Jupiter rising. That is a whole different story. You can't afford to just stay in the simplicity of, I'm a Sagittarius. It isn't true. It goes so much deeper than that. You, my sweet, delicious friend, are the 10-layer cake at the Cheesecake Factory. You are not just your sun sign. So Sagittarius is not really a materialistic sign. As a matter of fact, Sagittarius is pretty low on the millionaire or billionaire list. Sagittarius is third to the bottom. So I did a little research, like, why is that so? And I really went down into the archives of all that I know about Sagittarius. And Sagittarius likes big energy, big adventures, and big experiences. But Sag is attached to their money for 3 reasons. 1 is for the ultimate freedom. 2, it's for their autonomy or independence, kind of similar to freedom. And 3, it is for the financial benefit of having adventures. Sag earns big bucks to be independent and free from rules, regulations, bosses, authority figures, and to finance their adventures. They're not materialistic in the concrete world. They're going to be attached to experiences rather than cold hard cash, rather than buying a house. Now, let me explain it a little bit differently, because you're going to say, well, I have a Sagittarius and they're really materialistic. I mean, they have a fancy car and a fancy house. You know, Sagittariuses chase the rainbow of fun. Yeah, they do. They're the leprechaun looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But if they spend it on a house, if they spend it on a car, I'll tell you the reason why. I bet you anything that house is in a location that has adventures attached to it, like the Hawaiian beach with a hammock, beer on tap, or a pool table, or an old Pac-Man game, or or skis, jet skis, snowmobile. I bet you anything, they are going to have a house of fun, a house of adventures, and that they will invest in. So if they do have a house, I bet that's like a mansion or something, or a really big home. I bet you it's in a space or an area that has access to adventures. You know, it might be like the villa in Greece, under the starlight, under a canopy of stars, or a beach house, or a getaway house. Their home is going to create optimism, fun, joy, adventures, learning, and experiences. I bet you anything. Leave me a comment below if this is you or if you know a Sagittarius like this. Sagittarius is usually buy for like location, 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 a home or a house, or build their empire in a place or a space that has inlets and access to exciting, adventurous opportunities. They have to have opportunities. If they're cut off from having opportunities, they start to wither. They like to create hope and joy and fun and play. Sagittariuses are the Tigger of Winnie the Pooh. They are the joy maker. They also have an education bent to their money. They usually spend their money on learning a craft, a trade, a higher education, a college degree, going to, I don't know, acupuncture school or learning some new thing. They love learning. You know, they're going to be the type of person that will spend a lot of money on kind of a work play vacation. Like they're the type of person that would go on the work vacation in the rainforest in Costa Rica, where they save the rainforest, or they work at the orphanage Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then they go out on tours and they understand the culture and the music and the food, the foreign culture, the foreign music, the foreign food. And they discover sort of like native living. They don't want to be like trapped on the tour bus, you know, okay, now we're passing, you know, Fifth Avenue and Madison, look out to your right. No, they are such independent learners. They want to go walk the tour or figure it out on their own. They don't want to be bussed around. They're just ferociously independent that way. But they like to spend their money like Indiana Jones in search of the Holy Grail, right? And they see life kind of like living National Geographic. So they want to go like in exchange for room and board and live on the organic coffee plantation and work the coffee bean mill. They'll pay $5K for a great jungle experience, right? That's really authentic. And they want the authentic jungle food and jungle music and jungle language and whatever it is. Sagittariuses will work hard so they can play hard. They're not like Capricorns where they'll work hard to create, you know, an empire that earns a passive income. You know, they invest all their money so one day they can retire and then go on vacation. No, Sagittarius uses up all of their vacation in real time. They do work their butts off, but they do it to have the adventures and the lifestyle that give them options, freedom, independence, autonomy, fun, exploration. They want opportunities. They are so hungry for opportunities. They usually don't have a hard time asking for their worth. If you went and saw my Virgo video, oh, Virgos need Sagittarius as a friend to be able to ask for the raise, to negotiate a great new deal. But Sagittarius need Virgos on their team so they can help them out with the details. In an interview, a Sagittarius can very easily negotiate their salary, or they can renegotiate their commission or their bonus package or their perks or their parking spot, or, hey, can you throw in an extra, you know, parking spot for me? I'd really appreciate it. And Virgo would just be like, oh God, I can't ask that. A lot of Sagittarius, if you've got a lot of Sag in your chart, they know their worth and they are not necessarily cocky or arrogant, although they can be. If they've got an overinflated ego, believe me, they can be out of touch with reality around what they're worth. But if they're a healthy Sagittarius, there's a regal quality to them. You have to remember that Sagittarius's planetary ruler is Jupiter, and Jupiter is Zeus, and Zeus is the grand poobah, the granddaddy, the big daddy, the big kahuna, the god of all gods. And so Sag usually knows its worth. If you're with a Sagittarius that doesn't know its worth, I bet you anything, they're born around the last day of Sagittarius, or they're born on the very first day of Sagittarius. So they have a lot of Scorpio or Capricorn in their chart, or they're plagued with Virgo somewhere in their chart, because Virgo and Sag have, they're kind of opposites and they struggle. Now, Sag has a regalness to it, like I was mentioning, but I will say they're not materialistic. They really aren't. They're not built for money. They're not built to make money for money's sake. They don't necessarily even feel safe with money. Money is not the thing that makes Sagittarius feel safe. Now, because they have such a generosity about themselves, for themselves and for others, they like having abundance, but they like having abundance because they have to have choices. And without money, you get fewer choices. They do chase rainbows and they can be gullible. They can buy into schemes. They can buy into get rich schemes because they so desperately want freedom, freedom to not have to work. They are hard workers. They are mutable fire. And so they move around a lot. They're not great at staying in one job forever for their whole life unless it gives them freedom. A lot of Sages become teachers or professors because there's freedom in it, you know, supposedly. Supposedly they get the entire summer off. Woohoo! Well, if you know any teachers, that turns out to be about like 3 weeks. It's not really what they promise. Like, oh, you get 2 weeks at Christmas. Yeah, no, you have to make your curriculum and still grade papers. So you get about 4 days, right? But they like the pension. They like not having to be in a grind. They like work that has changeability or mutability in it. And they like challenges. I was saying that Sages are not materialistic. They kind of have a bohemian hippie side to them, to tell you the truth. And if they don't, if your Sagittarius doesn't, if your Sagittarius is a little bit more fancy pants, you know, or classy, or in their regality, they are, you know, materialistic. They've got something else in their chart. And that's why I want you to know sun sign astrology doesn't really work. But pure hardcore raw Sag is not materialistic, and it's not particularly fancy. It likes to be comfortable. It's not particularly interested in looking so great. I mean, it can, but if it has Libra or fancy pants Leo or Taurus in it, yeah, it wants to be beautiful. But Sag energy in its own is really not afraid to get their hands dirty unless, like I said, they've got a really, really profound Venus or Leo or Taurus in their chart. Now, Sagittariuses are usually on the go, 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 go. They move fast, they talk fast, they don't dilly-dally. They usually can get 5 things done to all the other signs except Gemini, 1 thing. So they usually are doing a ton. They love movement. They have to use their energy in their job, and their passion is key. Their passion is absolute key. They are not lazy. They're not loungers. You know, they don't just sit on the couch and eat potato chips. No, they're on the go, go, go. They might have big, giant dreams. They like to fund and finance their dreams. Sag needs really one thing to do a job well, or to become their best selves in their work. It really boils down to just this one potato. And that is, are you ready? Can anybody guess? I'll give you a minute to guess. Dun, 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 dun. What does Sag need? Passion. That's it. They need that thing inside of them. That's called a fire. Light my fire, get me to jump out of bed and get me all excited about my job, right? And it's so hard for Sag to sustain its passion. I think the job that any good solid Sagittarius could do, that would be pretty simple for most Sages, is probably sales. And I say sales, some Sagittariuses are going to disagree with me. I say sales, but what I really mean is passion for something, sharing my passion and my knowledge about something and selling it or sharing it with you. So I'll give you an example. If a Sag believes in a product or believes in a service or believes in themselves, I'm telling you, there probably isn't a better sign to go out and sell it. A Sagittarius has a natural born ability from 1 hour old to sell ice to Eskimos. They are storytellers, they are charming, and they know how to create camaraderie and friendship and relationships. They know how to create connection. This sign is probably the very best sign to do sales. One of the other reasons is because they're mutable. And so they can adapt and flex and pivot and turn and switch up and move around all of the pieces to dish up the exact thing you want or need or crave or wish or desire. If you're with a Sagittarius that has lost their passion, oh my God. Like if you're with just a sad sack Sagittarius that's just like, I gotta go to work, dun, dun, I hate my job, you will see that there is something so miserable and so sad and probably so unbearable for your own self to deal with those sad sacks. And you need to give them a good, not really, just a loving little whip. Like tell them, go get a new job. You can't do this. When Sagittarius loses their passion, they start to die a very slow and painful death. And guess what? They are going to inadvertently make your life pure misery. Yeah, they will be unbearable to live with. They will be like a zombie. It will be so miserable when they lose their passion. And if they're working for you or with you, or you're married to them, or this is your partner, or this is you, I can't even begin to tell you how miserable these people become. I mean, so miserable. They can't even live with their own selves. They are dying a slow death. This is the fastest way to kill a Sagittarius is put them in a job that drives them into misery and just soul sucks their passion from them. They can't even fake it. That's why it's so miserable for them. When they are miserable, they quit. They just quit on you. I mean, no notice, just boom, they're out. They might not even give a 2-week notice. They're just like, can't do it. Done. Done with you. Done with this job. I'm out of here, right? They just cut and run. And they're not cold like an Aquarius. They're just like, I don't have it in me and I can't do it. I can't even get dressed for work. I just can't even get in the car and drive there. I can't do it. I'm ready to jump off the bridge. There's something about them that is so generous with their time, with their love, with their money, with their energy, that when it's gone, it's gone. And they don't have anything left to give, and they can't live inauthentically. They just literally don't have it in them. And if you're living with a person like that, that's just miserable in their job and they're a Sagittarius, I feel for you. I mean, that is so painful. Believe me, I know that, and I know that experience really, really well. So here's when Sagittarius is going to be their best selves. And Sagittariuses usually find their calling a little late in life because they're wanderers. They're questers, they're seekers, they're truth seekers, and they can't find the truth fast usually. The truth is usually revealed through a multitude of experiences. And so they discover over here, ooh, this is my truth, only to find out that it's not. Ooh, this one's my truth, only to find out that it's not. Ooh, this is my truth, only to find out that that's not either. Oh, this one. So they try a lot of things. But if you're kind of a lost soul and you're a Sagittarius and you're like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And you could be any age feeling that. You could be 12, you could be 18, you could be 30, 40, 50, 70. Believe me, I get it. So Sagittariuses usually are going to do a multitude of different things. But let me just tell you a little trick. Let me get you into just a little bit of a secret for Sagittariuses. And this is for Venus in Sag, or Sag in the second, or Sag in the 10th, or Venus in Sag in the second. And this is also maybe if you've got Jupiter in Sag conjunct Venus in Sag. Whoa, that would be huge. Wow, tell me what your combination is. I want to know. Tell me. But here's your secret. Okay, Sag, listen to me, because this is so exciting and I want to help you. And that's the whole point of the work that I do here on YouTube for you, is I want to help you. Do something that you really love. You can start with sales because you'll be good at it. And I'm not talking go be a car salesman, okay? Let's just pretend for a minute. Go on my little fantasy island trip with me. Let's pretend you love baseball. Now, you could swap this out for whatever you really love. Maybe you love music. Maybe you love, I don't know, Hollywood. Maybe you love stand-up comedy. I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to say baseball for now. Let's say you love the game of baseball. Let's say you love summers and warm weather, and you don't know what to do. What I want you to do is step into the baseball arena and sell something. So what's something that you like? Now, Sagittariuses are joy makers, so they usually like to attach themselves to selling something that makes people happy. So let's say you're going to sell drinks, sell beer, sell hot dogs, sell at the concession stand, sell at the souvenir stand at the baseball game. You get to see the game, have beautiful summer days, you get to interact with people, and you get to sell something that makes people happy. What happens to you, even though this isn't your big end-all be-all career job, this lights your fire. This creates passion. This creates joy. This shakes your joy maker, which is also your money maker. So let's just say you like working the hot dog stand, you love baseball games, and you've got pretty soon, because your personality becomes infectious, because you love people, you love hot days, you love making people happy, and you love baseball, you become infectious. You become the sunbeams on that sunny hot day. You think like, the baseball game is a hit, like, woo, did you see Ichiro hit that double and ran to second? No, but I noticed that incredible soul in section 3:32 selling hot dogs. He was hilarious and he was so much fun. I want to go get another hot dog from him. Right? And what happens is your manager or your boss starts to recognize that we're selling more hot dogs because of you and you're having a blast and you're super fun. So they make you manager. Now you become manager and you have hired the best team of people because you attract people that are phenomenal like that match you in your radiance. And now all of a sudden you've got the highest selling booth of hot dogs, etc. You've got a line around the corner and down the street for your hot dogs. Yeah, I'm sure the hot dogs are good, but so are you, right? All because you stepped into your passion of loving sunny days, making people happy, selling something that brought people joy, and your love of baseball. So that's how Sagittarius rolls. That's how Sagittarius actually gets rich. Sagittarius, you have to do your passion. I don't care how tiny it is. I don't care if it's this tiny. It won't stay that way with your magnificent personality. You're ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is 13,300 times the size of Earth. That's how big your energy is. I'm telling you, sell hot dogs, you'll go places. Tell me what your version of hot dogs are. Tell me, because I know it's not going to be hot dogs, and I am being funny, but this is the Sagittarius show, right? Even if you're an introverted Sagittarius, I'm telling you, people want what you have and you can sell it. You can sell it if the thing that you have genuinely and authentically lights your soul on fire. That is the key. It has to be authentic because Sag cannot fake it. They can't do it. It will kill them in the end. They'll get very, 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 very sick. So I'm making Sagittarius sound real good, aren't I? They appreciate it. But I do want to talk about their Achilles heels. Sagittariuses are the world's greatest procrastinators, and they usually need like a Hail Mary. You need, a deep prayer in the 11th hour or in the bottom of the 9th inning. I mean, they are just sweating bullets to make their gig on time, get their project on time. Now, over time, they can get better, but they're not good at 9-to-5 jobs. They're 9-to-5 jobs that they have to clock in, that they've got oppressive systems and structures and bosses and people hovering over them, micromanaging them. They've got to move their body. They have so much energy inside of them. They need to make a difference every day. They need a challenge every day. They are good at coaching. They are good at selling. They are good at relationship building. They are great at empowerment. They need newness to every single day's work, new challenges. They don't like the mundane. If you're training a Sagittarius, if you're a boss of a Sagittarius, don't give them the instruction manual. And they're not going to read it anyway. If you're a Virgo boss trying to teach a Sagittarius, it's like just throw them in the deep end of the swimming pool with no floaties and just say, swim, baby, swim. If they have to read the instruction manual, don't give them the manual at all. Just give them the instruction video. They do like to learn, but they like hands-on learning, or they like to learn through visual. If you're a Sagittarius and you're just like, gosh, I don't know what I want to do, you have to have passion for it. It has to have movement. It can't have a predictable 9-to-5 grind. Boring. They can be good attorneys because they've got a high-mindedness. They like a lot of integrity. They search for truth, but they'll be a better like prosecuting attorney or trial attorney where there's a performance to be had. They make absolutely phenomenal stand-up comedians or performers. They love drama. They love hearing their own story. They love hearing their own voices talk. They can be full of hot air, but that makes them a funny comedian. They're probably not going to be like get rich overnight type of person. They are funny storytellers. They're great mimics and they can do physical comedy really easily. They're great with people. They love making people laugh because they're adventurers. They would also be great Indiana Jones, digging up dinosaur bones or mummies in Egypt and then bringing them back to the science lab and uncovering, story of where this mummy came from and doing a whole TED Talk presentation on research and the findings. They would be great archaeologists. They would be great professors or teachers. They would be great sports agents, Oh my gosh, they would be great at sports newscasting, sports announcers. They would be fantastic at this. Like, and then he threw the ball to second base and he almost got out, but no, it was a grand slam. And then the crowd. Yeah, that person. There's movement, there's challenge. You talk about change. They need a job that requires a lot of adrenaline. Like they would be a fantastic firefighter or even a cop, if you will. And in a weird way, they can kind of be a loner if they have to be. If they're going to work around miserable people, they'd rather just enjoy their own company. You know, Sagittarius would also be a great tour director. They'd be great on the Alaskan cruise, loading up the kayaks and taking you into all the inlets and like, oh, and here's where we see the polar bears. And over here, we've got the penguins marching. They'd be great doing the helicopter, snowboarding, backcountry, snow skiing. They make great athletes. Are you Sagittarius and Venus, and were you a good athlete? Please tell me. I don't think Sagittarius signs up for any of these jobs to get rich. I mean, they're not going to go on the kayaking tour to become a millionaire, but they could end up becoming a millionaire. Sagittarius is often, by the time they are a little bit older, after 36, oftentimes they find themselves working as an entrepreneur. They're not afraid to be the bus boy at the restaurant, and then they eventually end up owning the restaurant and 3 more. They're not slaves to their job, but they can be workaholics because they so desperately want their vacation days. Yeah. And if they are your boss, they're probably going to be fun. They're probably going to promote optimism and empowerment, and your own individuated self will be listened to. They'll listen to ideas. They're broad-minded. They get overwhelmed if you give them too many details to tend to. They don't like that. You do the details. They don't want to. They also won't make you a slave to the job, and they want you to have fun. They're going to create happy hours and, you know, retreats. The human relationship experience is in fact important to Sag. They try to set themselves up to get their money to work for them because they believe so much in freedom. And so they're going to want you to experience freedom too if you work with them or for them, or if they're on your team. Sag just doesn't sweat it. They can make it up as they go. They don't have this high anxiety around, oh my God, I'm good at nothing. I don't know what to do. No. They know they've got a skill set. They just don't have an attachment to build some empire. They're kind of like not above doing some jobs that other people wouldn't do if they can get their passion around it, or if it's temporary, if they can't, and if there's a lot of movement and challenges to overcome. One other little thing about Sagittarius is they're kind of gamblers, and that's kind of what I was saying. They'll bet on themselves. They will gamble at the casino. You know, I don't know, little or big, it kind of depends where Jupiter is in their chart and what Venus is doing. If Venus is square to Saturn, not so much, but if Venus is connected to Jupiter in some way, boom, they'll gamble. And they may even have a gambling problem, but they are gamblers. And they oftentimes, they can become even too much. They can do too much. They can gamble too big or too much at times, especially if Jupiter is in a real easy aspect in their chart. They do take risks, and they do take risks on themselves. They will try out for the school play. They will enter the poetry contest. They will pick up the saxophone. They're not afraid as much as other signs to kind of make a fool of themselves trying, and they'll try lots of different things. They have high expectations of others because they feel like they delivered and they want other people to deliver to the same degree, which by the way, they feel like nobody ever does. If you meet your Sagittarius where they're at, I guarantee you, and like you're an over deliverer and they're an over deliverer, I guarantee you right now, they're going to flat out 1000% fall madly in love with you. Yes. Okay, that was my Sagittarius Big Bang Boom video, and I hope so much that you will go watch my entire Sagittarius playlist. And the other thing I really want you to do is go watch the video, The Sun Through the Houses, and really understand what the different houses mean. So when you know that you've got Venus in the 7th house, you know what the 7th house is from my video. There's part 1 and part 2, Sun Through the Houses part 1 and Sun Through the Houses part 2. And wherever your Venus is, that is going to show you, wherever it is, whatever house it's in, that is going to show you the arena or the theme song in which your moneymaker is going to be drawn to working in. That's the subject. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If you've got a question, or you feel confused or concerned, or you just don't know what to do next, leave me a comment below because I really, really want you to learn. And if you do have Venus in Sagittarius, tell me what your job is. Tell me if you have passion for it. Tell me if you love it. Also, I want to invite you to subscribe and ring the bell because I'm doing all kinds of live streams and I want you to get an invitation and be there. And that's the only way you will, because I do them kind of spontaneously, and then it will light up your little email and your little YouTube station. It'll say, Meredith Soul Navigation is doing a live. Please subscribe, ring the bell. And from my home here in Seattle to yours out there in the beautiful world, I just wish you nothing but love, joy, peace, and harmony. Mwah. Take good care. Thanks for being here.